Well, here we are again with something a little different this time. Dating, more specifically, dating apps, and how brutal and competitive it is out there in the dating scene today. The three apps I want to talk about today are the ones I had the most experience with, and the three most popular ones: Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. Now, I'm going to assume that some of you out there at some point in your life have used these apps. But for those of you that haven't, let me quickly break it down for you. These apps provide a platform for people to meet based on mutual interests and attraction. They were made to be more fun and a little less awkward than the traditional dating sites. And these apps consist of five key features: profile creation, swiping feature, location based matching, messaging, and premium features. I say these are pretty self explanatory, but if you do need a breakdown, I wrote this down for you. Feel free to pause. So, what is the point of this? To rate these apps? No. It's to share my personal experience and tell you how these apps are viewed in general. Starting with the people's favorite, Tinder. So, why do people like Tinder? You could say it's because it's the OG, paved the way for the other apps. I can't tell you what Tinder was like in the early days when it first came out because I didn't have it back in 2012. I got it 10 years later in 2022. Straight off the bat, what I did pick on pretty quickly was how easy it was to use. You swipe left for nope, you swipe right for like. Pretty easy. Tinder tries to reel you in very early on. It welcomes you with a few likes to get your brain going. It makes you think, I was the missing link. This is it. It's all about me. I'm it. I'm him. They do this to get you excited and get you going. The funny thing is, you can't even see who likes you in the first place. Nope. Unfortunately, you have to pay for that. Tinder also shows you the best options around your area and makes you think every like that you send could potentially lead to a match. But does it? Well, it depends on a few things. The most important thing comes down to your profile and how you present yourself. But it's not just putting up a nice picture and a good bio, because the person clicking on your profile might not even check it out completely. They might not even care. You have to catch their attention right away, TikTok style. You have to first and foremost put in the work outside, which means going to the gym, getting a good haircut or a good shine, making sure you have good fits, making sure that you stand out. Chances are, if you don't work on many aspects of your life, you're not gonna find much success on these apps. Okay. You might be thinking, how do you know that? You look like a regular guy. What do you know? True, but I do know some things because I've gone from having no matches at all to having some matches. Not a lot, but some. And this started when I did present myself very differently. The thing with Tinder is it's gone from finding a date to just a cesspool of people looking to hook up. And that's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But since this is what most people are looking for on Tinder, they want to find the most attractive person to do that with. And in reality, for most of us guys, unless you stand out, we're just average. You see, our profiles, they have to resemble that of an A-list celebrity. Only then will people look for more than 2 seconds. Okay, maybe not that drastic, but you get the point. We have to put in 3 times as much effort compared to a woman on Tinder. And I'm not just saying that in a bad way, not at all. That's just how it is. That's just the truth. And the few times that you might get a match, it all depends on your approach and their reaction to it. Some people might just be looking for validation or even a texting buddy, which you are not. Other times, they might be interested, but just like everything nowadays, you have to make sure to keep that interest going. TikTok attention span. In my personal experience, I noticed that when I do use these apps often, I was more likely to find a match, especially when I changed my pictures to more quality ones. It helped me stand out a bit more than I had before. But honestly, Tinder just hasn't worked out the way I thought it would. I've been very on and off with it, and more recently, I've been completely off of it. And let me tell you, when you're not active on it, Tinder will for sure bury your profile. So forget showing up on anyone's radar, you're not even gonna be seen down your block. I'd say if you are interested in getting on it, make sure you present yourself properly. Make sure the image you portray on the app is the same one you portray in your daily life. And this goes for all the dating apps. Presentation is important. And please don't get tempted to pay for Tinder. If you're not getting any matches, chances are the people who are liking your profile aren't the ones that you might be interested in. I mean, because if you were, then you'd see match, match, match straight up. You could pay for the spotlight and super likes, but I wouldn't do it for this app. Okay, so how different is Bumble compared to Tinder? Well, fun fact, Bumble was founded by Whitney Wolford, who also co-founded Tinder. She faced some issues back in the day and was unfairly ousted from the company, but she took that opportunity and ran with it. She went on to create a worthy competitor to Tinder. Her version, though, came with a little twist, which was women make the first move. Something that she created from a problem that she wanted to help solve, which was women waiting around to be asked out. Crazy. Really, that is the main difference. Other than the color change and maybe the interface change, everything else really follows the same style as Tinder. So how has my experience been with Bumble? I'd say it's been better than Tinder. Whereas Tinder, it's more people looking for something casual and fun. On Bumble, you might find something a little bit more serious if that's what you're looking for. Which reminds me, it's always better to be open and honest about what you want. That way, you don't waste your time and other people's time. To me, the idea of women making the first move is a pretty smart one. One, because it's already set in stone. So whichever match you do get, you can pretty much guarantee they have some type of interest in you. Two, they do get 24 hours to make the first move before that match expires. And a majority of the time, they do. This also might remove some of that worry from some people not really knowing how to open up the conversation. But just like everything, you have to keep that conversation going and make sure to keep that interest alive. And of course, there are also some paid features in here as well. A super swipe to let that person know you really like them. Spotlight to get your profile shown to many people for a short amount of time. How short is that time? It depends. Could be 30 minutes to 2 hours. And the monthly one to swipe as many times as you want. And you could also see your beeline, which is the same as the people who like you. So that brings us to number 3, which is Hinge. Hinge has been growing in popularity recently, and their whole mission is to make sure you find and establish a long-term relationship. Their app is designed to be deleted, so they say. You know what? I'll get straight to it. Out of all these 3, I prefer Hinge. Why? Because it's simple. I've seen the most success on here than the other 2. I also like how Hinge doesn't have the swiping feature. Instead, it has a bubble with an X on it and a bubble with the heart on it. And why I like this compared to the swiping feature, it makes you feel that building a profile is worth your time and effort. Hinge also offers you interesting prompts to answer, which also could be pretty fun to do. And in a way, it gives you a glimpse into someone's personality before you hit like on them. You can also choose to like any of their pictures that are on their profile. That way, the other person knows which picture caught your attention and you know which one of your pictures caught their attention. What this tells me is when someone is interested, they actually take the time to look at your profile instead of just rapidly swiping through the first two pictures they see and calling it a day. By now, we already know that all these apps come with the option for a premium upgrade, which allows you to swipe as many times as you want, prioritize your likes, and that gives you more of a chance to be seen. I'd say before you even think about paying for this, just work on your profile. Build it up to be something really interesting. Give it a few weeks and see what happens. And then, if you want, sure, go ahead and maybe pay for a week to see if you do get more matches. I have. But in reality, I don't think it's really that necessary. I say that because Hinge seems a bit more fair to use than any of these other apps, especially when it comes to seeing who liked you. It allows you to see the most recent person that has liked your profile, something that these other apps don't let you do. Why? Because
money.
And if you're interested and you do match with them, then good. The other likes continue to open up one by one, so technically you can see all of your likes without actually paying for them, which is a pretty good thing in my opinion. And also, similar to Bumble and Tinder, there is a super like feature, which for some reason makes me feel like I'm in The Bachelor. You know, handing out a rose to someone you really want to connect with. For some reason, it just seems a bit more romantic and appropriate. I'll give them that. I mean, they should feel special. You only get one rose a week. Give it to someone you really want to find love with. So the last thing I'll say about Hinge and my experience with it is that I have matched with a couple of people. I've talked with some, met with some, fumbled way too many. I would really like to get deeper into my experience with it. And you know what? I'll probably do so in another video. But aside from all this, obviously, this isn't the only way to meet people. I find that meeting someone in person is and always will be the best way to do it. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, definitely an interesting experience. But at the end of the day, whether you try it or not, it doesn't really matter. Take what you learn, apply it in your daily life. Who knows? It could open you up more. But really, we shouldn't rely on it. Anyways, if you made it to the end, thanks for watching. I'll have more videos coming soon. And if you want to leave a comment, go ahead. I'd really love to read one and see what your experiences have been like. But until then, I'll see you soon.